I know there's a lot of information out there regarding Zupka's actions or lack of, and I'm sad by what I've heard, and it's sad how it's handled. But I'm not here to talk about that.
Yesterday, I sent the unified letter signed by over 30 Milford High School coaches.
If they don't report something, that's got to be a deal breaker. And what's so important is by making sure that is well and completely understood in your culture, and there's going to be no variation from that. That's how you make your culture better, because then everybody knows.
But what is equally troubling is that some of our own coaches and community members are using their positions, their booster networks, and their voices to defend and protect this individual.
I came here to the Milford Exempted Village School District meeting on November 13th, and it was Aaron Zupka Fest. The place was packed full of people that love Aaron Zupka.
We need more Aaron Zupkas, and we need Aaron Zupka specifically. Thank you for your time.
Coaches, students, athletes, on and on. And what I so desperately wanted to hear was some leader sitting up at this table here to just say to him, you know, we're sorry, it's okay to love Aaron, but there are things that we cannot have a tolerance for. We need to be zero tolerance on any administrator, coach, or teacher who does not report a reportable offense. And Aaron Zupka clearly on multiple occasions did not report reportable offenses. And you know, an important lesson that the coaches need to hear and the students need to hear, and you know, most importantly, the parents need to hear, is that the system here, the culture here, is not going to tolerate that. So if you're a coach, if you're a teacher, if you're an administrator, you cannot look away from a reportable offense. And these people here, I guess, are cheering on that the evidence clearly shows that on multiple occasions, Aaron Zupka did not report reportable offenses. If you actually read the reports, some of that caused him to get basically inflated reviews because he was hiding things that were going on in some of these programs. I don't know Aaron Zupka, maybe he's the greatest guy on earth, but there's lots of things in life you got to learn. If you make a mistake and don't do something that is required to be done, you have to pay a price. And the whole culture needs to understand that. That's where the whole concept of zero tolerance came from. Now let me walk through some of the things that happened. There were a variety of speakers at public participation. I'm going to play clips from some of them. Many of them were coaches. This first is the lacrosse coach.
I am Connor Peck, resident, voter, and proud head coach of Milford men's lacrosse. Yesterday, I sent the unified letter signed by over 30 Milford high school coaches. We wrote to express our strong support for Athletic Director Aaron Zupka. Many of those coaches, students, and parents of students are here tonight. We can all find another place to coach.
The second public speaker was the golf coach.
Aaron's done nothing but good for the golf team. It's a small part of Milford, but he's done everything humanly possible, and he's one of the best ADs I've ever had in my life. Thank you.
The junior varsity girls golf coach.
He acts without judgment and always acts in the best interest of the students he serves.
Then there were some gentlemen who spoke who said he was a teacher but not here. And the thing I thought was funniest about these were all people supporting Aaron Zupka, was that he just figured out that he taught government somewhere and he just figured out that local elections matter. I'll tell you something, if you don't understand that local elections have more impact on your life than any national elections, then you probably shouldn't be teaching government. But here's some of his comments.
He puts the kids first. The proof to me is not just in like all the ECC championships and all that cool stuff, because when I coached at Milford, they weren't winning that stuff. There wasn't a lot of school pride. And actually, I think the coolest thing is the golden megaphone that y'all won, having the flock being the #1 student section in the state of Ohio. Local elections actually matter. I teach government, and I didn't think they did. We focus on the presidential election, all that kind of stuff. You can see school board has a direct effect on your lives.
There were also several students who spoke here tonight. This is a student named Olivia Zaya.
You might recognize my name from my sideline athletic reporting for our athletic program, but today I'm here to talk about something different. I know there's a lot of information out there regarding Zupka's actions or lack of, and I'm sad by what I've heard, and it's sad how it's handled. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the impact he has made on my life.
Of parents who spoke, there were a few at the beginning that spoke not in support of Aaron Zupka. They were definitely the minority. I think there were only 2 or 3. But let me play just a couple of excerpts of their remarks.
But the truth is, in our system, too often, things are allowed, bad things are allowed to happen. When an athletic director partakes in questionable financial dealings, ignores policies, laws, and credible allegations, when complaints are buried, toxic environments are allowed to fester unchecked, and friends protect friends instead of students, bad things happen.
Here we have an athletic director who failed to report abuse allegations, but also covered up other programs' misconduct and who disregarded district policies meant to protect students. That is not leadership. That is betrayal. But what is equally troubling is that some of our own coaches and community members are using their positions, their booster networks, and their voices to defend and protect this individual. When coaches who are entrusted with the care and character development of our students continue to support someone who has violated that trust, it calls their own judgment and values into question. Using influence, networks, and personal loyalties to shield someone who has endangered children is a gross breach of trust, an ethical violation, and it is absolutely vile.
I was standing over by where the speakers came up, and there was a guy in front of me that was wearing lacrosse stuff. I mean, if he was a student, he was a very mature student, but he had a beard. And he was basically being a jerk the whole time. He was making snide comments. He tried to block the camera at times. But that's part of the culture, too.
Have considered the impact the past week has had on the staff and students at Milford High School. Have you reached out to the athletic staff that's keeping the lights on to reassure or support them? Have you given a reason for other administrators, staff?
Chris Hicks? What's your name? What's your name? I told you mine. Huh? In closing, I want to say that I just don't get it. I don't get how you have a culture that doesn't appreciate that some things are deal breakers. And that's why everybody, that is such an important life lesson to know. There are some things that are deal breakers, and make sure you don't get involved with those things. One of those things for a teacher, administrator, or coach, it has to be that they don't report a reportable offense. If they do that, are credible allegations of a reportable offense. If they don't report something, that's got to be a deal breaker. And what's so important is by making sure that is well and completely understood in your culture, and there's going to be no variation from that, that's how you make your culture better, because then everybody knows. Everybody knows. Nobody's going to turn a blind eye. Nobody's going to look the other way. It doesn't matter if you're best friends with whoever. You have got to be accountable.